This is Baruch Fleischman. We're at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and it's my pleasure to start to bringing back to us the Torah of Rabbeinu HaKodesh, Rebbe Nachman ben Fege, the Breslev Rebbe, the Rebbe of Breslev. So many different things. So here we're really talking about the main function is really there's a very subtle Torah, and I'm thinking that what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through it at this point, make the best analysis that I can. And as you understand that I can only really analyze this from a Kabbalistic point of view, according to the Rebbe. The Rebbe is a tremendous Kabbalist. So that's what's going on here. But I see that he's building cases, different kinds of cases, that he wants to teach us some really fundamentally very deep Torah. So what I'm thinking is going to go to a certain point here. When I come back and review it again, so we can get an idea of what the points are that the Rebbe says that if basic premise is this, by study of Torah and prayer, which is, if you listen to the Zohar that we learned earlier, study of Torah and prayer is called Mayim Nukvin. It's the pleading, it's the offering from down below. As a result, it's like on a balance scale that it brings down Shefa or Bracha from up above. So this is the Rebbe wants to teach us different kinds of techniques for this and to understand them. So here we're going to just start out, and we'll just, we're going to go through as much as we can, and then we'll come back when we have time to try to add up the different things that the Rebbe is saying. Of Al-Kain, let's take Yaakov. Yaakov, we understand from Kabbalah, represents the middle line. He is the line of balance. What is Yaakov able to do? He's able to see, as a result of being in the middle, all of the seichel that's in everything. Al-Kain zochel lachein. So therefore, since he's able to look at the godliness which is in everything, he earned grace. Kamosha Kosev, it says like this, Chanani Elokim, that Hashem has given me grace. Al-Kain berach as hashvatim b'chein. So therefore, when he spoke to the shvatim and he gave them all of this blessing, he blessed them with grace. Chein. Chein, what does grace mean? So he explained earlier that grace means that when you speak to someone who likes you, who has an interest in you, then the things that you say penetrate him, and they become, they become accepted. That's chein. So Moshe calls it Chayulodim Asher Chonon, because there's a place over there where he said the children that have been graced. Binyamin lo Choya Oz, but Binyamin was not there at that time. V'alkein berchu Yosef b'chein, so therefore blessed when he appeared before Yosef, Yosef blessed him with chein, Kamoshe Kosev Elokim Yechonecha b'ni. Let Hashem give you grace, my child. Avadavka Yosef koya yochel levarchu b'chein. Only Yosef could do that. Now, what do we understand about Yosef? So first of all, we said that Yaakov is the middle line, which is also known as the Tiferes or Zeranpin, depending on context. That's the middle line. So the middle line incorporates everything within it. It has an extension. The purpose of the extension is to be able to reach the female aspect. So the male aspect is Yaakov. The female aspect is Rachel. So he says, Levarchu b'chein, he says, Ki Yosef choya kola b'Yosef, because it turns out that the yesod of Zer Anpin is called Yosef. So in other words, that's the place of the tzaddik. That's the concept of Shmiras Habris. That's the concept of the perfection of a person's life living with a woman. So he said, Bebechinas Yaakov, Kamosha Kosev, Elu told us Yaakov. Who are the told us of Yaakov? It says Yosef. So Yosef is the yesod at the end of the middle line. He who hoya iker toldoisa, because that is the nozzle that transfers the shefa that comes through Zer Anpin into the malchus. Ki Yaakov and Yosef gehada cheshive, because they're both considered to be one, because yesod is attached actually to Tiferes. So it's the ultimate extension. So therefore it says in regard to Yosef, Bechor Shoro Hadolo, that the firstborn of his ox, it will be a glory for him. What does that mean? Bechor, so let's talk about it like this. If you're going to talk about a Bechor, that's a concept we said before. The Bechor is a concept of Chachma. Chachma is the Seichel. To be able to see the Seichel. V'zechu Shoro. What Shoro? Lashon Histaklos. Shoros means to be able to see or rest your eyes on something. And the Rebbe says this over and over again, and you see this said by contemporary rabbis as well, like Rebbe Memran. But he doesn't use the word seichel here. So when Rebbe Memran says a very interesting thing over there about beauty, that the beauty that you see in anything is really the godliness within it. It was a very interesting idea. You could start pondering that by looking at a beautiful rose, for example, and just saying the word beauty, beauty, beauty over it. But here the Rebbe is talking about the same idea, but he's talking about seichel. Now, I think that from seichel, and there's no contradiction at all, it really refers to intent. That it is, in fact, that God has an intent inside of it. That is, there's a mind that's working inside of these things. It has a goal. So then you could go to Rabbi Memra, you could say, well, that's the Vekas. Getting close to him, of course, that's what it is. This becomes a hadar, for a glory for him, or a beauty for him. Tergum onklus, zivle, so it shines on him. Lashon or, it's both concept of light. Because the seichel then starts to shine into the person in every way. Even if the person finds himself living in a very low life. Even as the Rebbe talks about this, and Rab Sheikh talked about this, and all the things that you see that people fall. It doesn't mean that Hashem's not there. You find yourself on the bar room floor drunk, night after night. Doesn't mean Hashem's not there. It's possible to find that light and to pull your way out of it. So he says, the seichel is there too. So that is when a person is able to earn the right. He says, the histakel, he earns, that means that you're earning, he merits, to be able to look at the seichel sheyesh sham b'kol davar, and by being able to see the inner seichel that is in every single thing, it will bring that person close to Hashem Yisbarach. That's the Vekas, that's the connectedness that we're talking about. What is Rebbe Nachman talking about? Getting your prayers answered. How you have to do that? You have to realize that Hashem is in Kol Davar. Now, when you see the word Kol Davar, well, you say, well, what do you have in my hand? I have a pencil in my hand, I'm looking at a book. Those are things. But that's not what he means. Not only what he means. Of course, Hashem is in all objects, inanimate, animate, everything else. All of this composed ultimately of God. But the fact of the matter is that it can be used to draw us into this connectedness. And now we're going to go into this famous Rabba Baba Chana, and the Zohar explains it's actually a spirit, but let's see how it goes. Here's the words that he uses, and these are very difficult words. High Gala, which is a wave, the Matbea Lesvinta, Mischaze Kitzutzitze Denura. I'm going to translate it over. It looks, we'll read his translation too. This is Rabbi Chaim Kramer's work. Mischaze Kitzutzitze Denura, there's a spark of fire, Chivarta, which is white, Beresha in its head. O Machine Rabelei, and they strike it. Ba'avlasach dechakik alei ekya she'ekya. Avlasach, he says, is a staff, a stick. So you hit it with a stick, which has carved on it the name Ekya, which means I will be that I will be. Now, what exactly that means is very difficult. So over here in this Gemara, this is a Gemara in Baba Basra. In this Gemara, we have a pirush of the Rashbam. You don't have Rashi over there. He says, Eish Levona, it's a white fire, or Malach Maziku. And that white fire that he's talking about is a Malach that causes damage. It's a punishing angel. Now, we're going to pick this up again on the next year. This is Baruch Fleischman here with the Tikkun Elevator Kol El, and we're starting to get into this just a little bit more.